about some more awards in the NBA. The 25-26 finalists for the Kia Most Valuable Player of the Year award were revealed as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, and Victor Wembanyama. One key omission was one Luka Doncic. He's the only player in the last 10 seasons to win the scoring title in the media, and not be a finalist for the MVP. Lakers Muse says the media doesn't hide it anymore. Real App also put this out saying he's the only player ever to average 37-7 on a 50-win team and not win MVP. Funny enough, that was actually my stat. And now he's done it twice in 24 and in 26, coming in third place in 24, and then also this year, not a top 3 finisher in the MVP race. Is Luka being snubbed by the NBA?
No, because every year I think MVP is different. He's the only player. He's the only player. He's the only player. We've never seen a player like Wembanyama before, and we've never seen a player like Jokic before. So sure, Luka might be the only player to have never. But he's going up against only players who have never either. Now, we've seen players like Shai before, so that's why I didn't mention him, but we've never seen a Wemby and we've never seen a Jokic. If Luka was going up against players who we've seen before, Ant-Man, Jason Tatum, Jalen Brunson, Jaylen Brown, Cade Cunningham, he'd be a finalist. But we've never seen a defensive player like Wembanyama average 25-plus points a game. We've never seen a player as good as Wemby is defensively, plus being able to score 25 points. We've never seen it in history. We've never seen a player like Jokic be able to give you 28, 29 points per game, but also give you 10 assists a game. We've literally never seen it in history. So Luka, unfortunately, is just in an era of players who we've never, ever seen before, and he's taking an L because he exists in that era. I also think I can't pity Luka because he did this to himself. Luka's reputation defensively, it precedes him. And why does it precede him? Because he, on the biggest stage of the NBA Finals, was a turnstile. He, on the biggest stage in the NBA Finals, was a traffic cone. He, on the biggest stage in the NBA Finals, played piss-poor defense and then would complain about the defense, so much so that his defense made more noise than his incredible offense. So I can't complain on Luka's behalf because Luka put himself in this position. Luka's an incredible offensive player, I believe. He might have one of the best bags offensively we've ever seen in the history of the game, but he did it to himself with his reputation, bro.
You know, this is a tough one for me because I think Luka is special and he deserves to be in this list. But when I look at the list, I don't know. I mean, because Wemby's doing some great things this year, like you guys just talked about. Jokic, he always does some great things. And then SGA, do we need to even talk about his resume, what he's doing?
Correct.
So if it's only 3 players and Luka's not one of these 3 players, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. Now, if Luka was to change and take one of these guys' spots, I'm not mad at that either.
I can hear that. I think we're in a situation now where it's just Luka's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. Right now, Acho, you mentioned NBA Finals that happened 2 years ago, and we're not talking about the season where he just had probably his best defensive season, gave a lot of defensive effort over the season, and led the Lakers, who had no business being a 3rd or 4th seed given the amount of games that Austin Reeves and LeBron James missed, to a 4th seed in the West. The last time they played the Denver Nuggets, before he went out with injury, they would have had a better record than the Denver Nuggets did. And Jokic in that game did not perform as well as Luka did. I agree that we've never seen a player like Jokic before. I agree that Shai's doing some things we've never seen before. We've never seen a player like Wemby before. We've also not seen an offensive player come into the league and be as dominant as a Luka Doncic. He is 2nd all-time in playoff points per game. He is 3rd all-time in NBA history in points per game behind Wilt and Michael Jordan. I wouldn't say who.
You wouldn't say Jordan, 2nd year, 37 points per game.
Yes. Jordan's amazing. I would say Jordan's, I don't know if he was averaging 37 his 2nd year in the league.
2nd or 3rd. When did Jordan average 37?
I don't know.
Jordan was also putting up like 27, 28 shots a game in that era. But I'm not here to discredit Jordan's greatness and whatnot.
Please.
What I'm saying is
he would kill Luka. 3rd year.
Was he doing that? Okay, was he doing that also while averaging 9 assists? 10 assists? No, he wasn't doing that.
No.
I think Luka's an offensive anomaly. And to be honest, unfortunately, he was getting discredited before that finals appearance where everyone was shitting on his defense happened. In 2024, everyone said it was because his team didn't have a good enough record and they weren't high enough seeded. They won 50 games. They were 3 games worse than Jokic's team, who ended up winning that MVP, and he averaged 34, 9, and 9, a season that we've never seen in this era of basketball. I don't think we've ever seen it in the history of basketball, a 34, 9, and 9 season. I just think he's never going to win one because we're still just going to care about how it looks more than what he's actually doing. He's slow. He complains to the refs too much. He's not putting in enough effort. That's what they're all going to say. And it doesn't matter what he does on the court. The reputation that he's built in one final series, and nobody cares about what he did to get to that finals, the fact that he looked bad defensively against Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is always going to keep him away from winning an MVP. It's just not, he's never going to win one.
Do you think Luka should have won MVP this year?
I think he should have been in the top. I think he should be higher than Jokic on the.
Really?
Yes.
But Jokic led the league, I think, in boards and dimes.
Yes, I think that's awesome.
As a center.
And steals.
Yes.
Wasn't he top 3 in steals too?
I just know he led the league in boards
He's
and
a center,
dimes.
though, bro.
Absolutely.
And averaged like 27 points a game.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the team around him, I think the team around Shea, and I think the team around Wemby are all better. And Luka put his team in position to compete with that team for a seed. Before his hamstring injury, they were about to finish higher seeded than Jokic. If we're going to use team success as a factor for other teams, why for other
Can I ask you this question, though,
guys?
real quick?
What's
like,
up?
when you say the team's better, like that's
Yes.
all like opinion based.
Okay.
Because there's some people that might say the Lakers team, you know what I mean? It's
Okay.
all opinion based. My thing is when you talk about, because Luka got stats, he got stats, but everybody on his list got stats.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So like that's
Absolutely.
why this is tough.
I just don't understand how
mind
he has one of the best months in NBA history and then he drops on the MVP ladder. That's like that happened though. Like
So
that. Like
is he having a better year than Shea?
Hell no.
I
Sir?
mean, he's better than Shea in
Oh.
every statistical category. But no, he's not having a better year than Shea because Shea's on the Thunder and he's on the Lakers.
Okay.
If Luka is on the Thunder and Shea is on the Lakers, who has the 1 seed? It's still the Thunder.
I don't know that, bro. I
I
don't
know that.
I mean, all right. Well, I don't do the ifs, but
Okay.
I just want to ask you, Jokic is he having a better year than Jokic?
I think so. Yes, I think he's having a better year than Jokic.
How though, Ken?
I'm trying to figure out how.
Jokic got him beat in dimes, in boards.
Okay.
And he's a center.
in a center, and he has a higher
And the
seed.
last time they played, as the season was winding down, Luka outperformed him and also put his team in position to be higher seeded. Until he got hurt,
Who's higher
they weren't
seeded?
higher seeded.
Oh,
He got hurt.
Oh,
the
he
last,
got hurt. Oh, he got
yeah.
hurt. That's part of it.
He got hurt the last two. I mean, I think that's a huge part of
matter.
it.
If
But
Luka
it's not
doesn't get
even
hurt,
that.
he's a finalist.
No. No, he's
think?
not. He's still not. They still wouldn't have made him a finalist.
Not
I think
that-
The conversation, Luka ended up climbing to I think it was like second or whatever on the MVP ladder in March. Ended up falling at the end of the month for no reason after he had one of the best months ever because people just started talking about defensive value because Wemby had a press conference. like it wasn't anything that he did actually on the court. To me, it's he'll never be respected as much as the other guys because how bad his defense is to the media is always going to be forward facing. He'd have to be on the 1 seed to win an MVP. There's no way he's on the 2 seed with the other guys in the league. If the Spurs get the 1 seed next year and the Lakers are 2, Wemby's going to win the MVP. If the Nuggets are the 1 seed and the Lakers are the 2, Jokic is going to get the MVP. He's never going to win an MVP unless it's a perfect situation where he has the numbers and also the Lakers are the 1 seed. It's just it's what's been told to him at this point. He's just not he's never going to win an MVP in my opinion. He's never going to.
Never?
I don't think he's ever going to win an MVP. They're never going to give Luka Doncic an MVP.
I can't say
I think
never.
he's an
Can't
MVP
say
caliber
that.
player. He's never winning one.
I can't say never.
You think him averaging 34, 9, and 9, and him being discredited not because of anything else. He led the league, and I think it was assists, and it was he led the league in assists and points per game that year.
Yeah.
And led the Mavericks to the best record after the
and
trade
who won it that
deadline.
year?
He won the West.
No, who-
Jokic.
This is what he's not doing though.
Right.
Yeah.
What he's not doing is like, and I think because he loves Luka so
No,
much.
I think Jokic is awesome. I think SGA is awesome. I think they're very deserving
I'm saying,
players.
when you say like he should win the MVP, right, and you bring out these stats, and it's like, I'm like, damn, he's right.
Yeah.
And then I think about it in my head, oh, well, who won it that year? And then you say Jokic, I'm like, the dude averaged a triple double
Yep.
as
As
a
a
center.
center,
Yep.
yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
There have
I hear you.
Come on,
been
dude.
several bad snubs in the NBA
But
in
my thing
terms
is-
of MVP, and those guys still go back and get their
I
MVP,
don't
or
think
they
he's
already
been
have
snubbed
won
as
one.
bad
So-
as like as
I
bad
don't
as
think
other
he's
years.
been snubbed though, yo. Like
I think him not being a finalist, winning another scoring
He
title
did.
is crazy.
But I don't think like Jokic wins. Like
Yeah.
that's not a snub.
Right.
snub.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
it's
let me
different
ask you this,
though.
Kieran.
Okay,
Is this a snub? Because that's a fair question that Shea
him
is
not
bringing
being a
up.
finalist.
Over who? Because it's
Jokic,
not
I get what you're saying.
You know,
though.
it's not a
Jokic,
snub.
SGA, and Wemby are all incredible players.
Having
My
incredible
thing is, though,
seasons.
why does defense matter so much for him when with Harden it didn't matter as much? LeBron was a more complete player at that time. He played better defense than James Harden did. James Harden was one of the worst defensive players in the league. It didn't matter for Curry. I understand Curry had a historical year. So did Doncic in 2024. It didn't matter for Jokic the first time he won it.
But Kieran, here's what
Like,
I hate. I hate that you're doing this because so many people do it. And me voting at NFL MVP.
Okay.
Every year, bro, is different. If Wemby didn't exist, it'd be different. Like people be like, yeah, but Lamar Jackson stats this year and he won MVP, but last year they were better. Yeah, but it was different because last year Josh Allen went crazy.
better, yeah.
They're like, but Lamar Jackson had a better season this year than he did last year, and now he's not even a finalist. But Stafford won.
My thing is though, he's always going to be the odd man out. And it's been shown that. Like he averaged 34, 9, and 9. There was no reason, no reason for him to finish behind Shea 2 years ago. None whatsoever. And he finished third in voting, averaging 34, 9, and 9. His team got entirely retooled at the trade deadline. He led them to the best record in the West. And then when they got to the playoffs, he outperformed Jokic, and SGA took his team to the finals.
Wait,
But it's
There was no reason
but it's a
for
regular
him.
season award.
I understand, but
That's
during the
part of it,
regular
too.
season, he averaged 34, 9, and 9 and was the best player
SGA's first MVP.
last year.
They
were number one seed, right?
Yes.
He's talking about 2 years ago.
Yep.
He finished behind
2 years ago,
SGA was second, and then Luka was third.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
And then they played in the playoff series, and
he
Luka
showed
ended up
what's
winning.
Is it fair? Last question for you though, Kieran.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that Luka is simply unfortunately a worse version of Jokic? So how if we have two European offensive anomalies that are phenomenal, both aren't defensive juggernauts, but one gets less exposed defensively just by nature of being a
Position.
big.
Yes.
Exactly. Like, is it not fair to say that okay, if we have two anomalies on offense, but Jokic is just more of an anomaly.
Yeah.
And neither's great on defense,
Jokic
but
is
Jokic
never
gets
going to
exposed
get
less.
Exactly.
I just not.
I think that's really what it is, though.
Jokic.
I think
You can hide
think
Jokic.
Doncic-
I've been saying it.
Yeah.
Doncic might go down as one of the greatest offensive players to ever play this game.
He should.
He probably should go down as a top 5 offensive player ever in terms of what he's done so far in his career. But because of the defense, he's never going to get that praise. Ever.
Sake of time, let's get to the last topic of the day. Trey, get the super chats ready after we